how to make automatic grading quizzes in Google Forms. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with a new form to kind of show you kind of how to do forms. I have switched over to new forms. I was in old forms for a while because the add-ons were not there, but now they have put the add-ons into new forms, and so I've switched over. I haven't decided if I like it or not, but it's there. So you would title it, so this would be test. There we go. And now I would make sure that changes the name of my form up there at the top. And then I can put in questions. My first question is always going to be last name, and it's not going to be multiple choice, but I'm going to make it required because I don't want them to not put their name on there. You know how annoying it is when they don't put their name on the test. And then I'm going to put first name. And the reason I break, let's go first. The reason I break name up is because your responses go into a spreadsheet. And when your responses go into a spreadsheet, you can sort things. And if you sort things in alphabetical order and you have it first name, last name, it will only sort in one blank. It will only sort by that first name unless you go in and split the cells and all that annoying stuff. So it's a lot easier. I'm going to also put email on here. You don't have to do that. Yes. But you can, and the reason I am is because I want to be able to email my kids their answers or their grades when I'm finished. Then, after you put all that, if you wanted to put class period, here's my learn from experience. I would either make it multiple choice or drop-down box, either way, because if you do not, you'll have one kid that puts FIRST for first period. You'll have one kid that writes 4TH for fourth period, and you'll have one kid that just puts a 4. If you do it this way, they'll all put the same thing, so when you go to sort them again in that spreadsheet, you can sort them by the period correctly, and it's all the same thing. So that's kind of how you would do all that. Then you would just start putting your questions. I'm just pushing copy every time. You don't have to do that. You can click, if I wanted to do it another way, I would click plus, and I can add many questions. And it's that simple, and I choose what kind it is. And multiple choice is going to be your best bet because it is looking for the exact thing in a cell in that spreadsheet. So if you kind of have, so this is pretty good for exit slips. It's fantastic for exit slips, actually. And it's okay for test. But if you do this, you can only have a multiple choice test. There is a thing in Flubaroo that allows you to go back and hand grade all of the short answer, and so you can put short answers in there and then go back and hand grade them later. It's still quicker to do that with 160 kids than it is hand grading 160 tests, or however many you have. So that is an option, but you can also just do, your short quizzes, things that are going to be multiple choice. I always hate to just push out, do multiple choice assessments because there are so many other ways that you can assess. So you would type the question.
You think I'm going to see that?
So I asked a question like this, and I could put IT department has joined our webinar. So you can make your questions. You can just keep clicking as many times as you want to, and put as many as you want in there. So that would be kind of how you do a question. You can copy and paste things in here. So if I wanted to add a new question, I went over here and just grabbed some general knowledge questions. I could copy and paste them in. I get that question a lot. Where's mine? Here it is. And when you go to copy or paste your answers in, it will actually copy and paste that in. There is also an add-on if you have tests already typed up in Word, and you can change those Word documents into a Google Doc, and that Google Doc add-on will actually change that document into a form. So there is a way to do that if you have one that's already made. So that's just kind of how to make a test. I have one that's already made that has students already answer. The one I already made looks like this. Know that when you have your test finished, there's other options you can do. If I go over here to settings, I can say automatically collect respondents, Jefferson County Schools username. So instead of putting email in there, I could do that, and they have to log into a their Chrome account or their Google account, which if you're on Chromebooks, go ahead and do that because they're logged in. If you're on desktops, they still, you're going to have to do the deal with logging them in. You can see, you can make it where they submit only one response. So once they're done, they're done. They can't go back and do it again if they want to. Make sure if you do that they're not on the same computers, those type things. You don't want somebody to mess up. Also, you can have it where they can submit another response. I usually have that open. I put a message when you're finished. This is what it's going to say. I'm going to take that off. And you don't have to worry about progression bar. If you're always worried about kids cheating because they're sitting in computers, sometimes a lot of these computer labs I go to, you see them all smooshed up together. If that's a problem, you can shuffle question order. Just know when you shuffle question order, it is going to shuffle last name, first name, email. So it might be like number 8 on the test is going to be last name. So just be aware of that. I'm going to take that off just for this time. And click Save. And once you have the test made, you're going to click this little preview. And when you do, it'll open up the test. I guess I already had it open over there. It'll open up the test. Now, as the teacher, you need to go ahead and take the test because it needs a test key. And I would name that test key. I'm going to put my email in there. I'm going to put my Google email. So it will do that. Class period, I'm going to tell it it's first period. So I'm going to make sure I answer the right questions. I looked at these. Hope I'm right. And I just copied and pasted. That was from that general knowledge trivia. If you're wondering where I came up with this craziness. All right. And then I submitted the test key. You can do that before everybody takes a test. You can do it after. It doesn't really matter. And so I have submitted the test. And I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to say View Responses. And I'm going to click that, and I can look at it this way. It kind of gives you an overview. So if it was a final assessment, it's a good way to see what they answered. But you also can open it in Google Sheets. And so I am now in Google Sheets. I can go through and see who did what. I can say, you know what, I want to sort these before I do anything, and I'm going to sort them by class period. So now they're by class period, and now, oh, you know what, I should have sorted them alphabetical order, and now class period. And that'll put them in alphabetical order by classes. So here's alphabetical order first period, alphabetical order second, third, and fourth. And you can see as I go across. So once everybody has put their test in, or most everybody, I go over here to add-ons. And more than likely, you don't have all your add-on. You don't have the add-on Flubaroo already. If you need to get them, you go to Manage Add-ons. Did I click it? All right, and not managed. Get add-ons. And I look for Flubaroo. It's usually one of the big ones because it's probably the most popular. If it's not showing up at the top, you just type it in and it'll show up. And then instead of manage, you're gonna put it on this one so you can see. It's gonna say plus free, and so you add it to you. So I'm gonna go ahead. After I add it, I'm gonna go to Flubaroo and I'll say enable it. It's gonna ask. I'm gonna say okay. Now I'm gonna go back to it again. And now I'm going to say grade assignments. Now there is advanced, and this is where you can do auto grade, where it grades it as they come in. There's other options that are available, but this time I'm just going to grade assignment regularly. And now it's going to go through and give me all my questions, and all of these that say questions, email, first, last name, email, class period, those are going to identify the student, so I make sure that's correct. And then the rest of them, I want them to be normal grading. If it was something that I didn't want graded, I can click grade by hand. And click normal grading, but if I did have something that was grade by hand, you can do it there. So I'm going to click continue. I'm sorry, there are people standing outside my door making faces. And then I go and it says, please select which of these submissions will be used as the answer key. Here's my test key right here. And I'm going to continue. And it is grading my assignment. And it says, new worksheet called grades has been created. So if you notice down here at the bottom, you have student submissions here, and you have grades here. If I have a kid who needs to go back and retake the test, like I've retaught everything, and we go back and decide to take it again, I'll have to go back to add-ons, Flubaroo, and regrade assignment. If I look at their grades, I can see that Brenda Walsh here failed it with a 57. Anybody that makes below, I think it's like 69 or below, they turn red. That's how the settings are automatically set up. If more than half of the students missed a problem, it's going to be in yellow, so that's going to tell you that those are your most missed questions. And it gives you a percentage. The total points is how many they got correct. So it was 7 questions, and the people who have 100% got 7 correctly. Correct. No, you just add Flubaroo one time. Once it's added, it is there forever. You notice that I didn't have to go add it because it was already there. You will have to turn it on like I did and then tell it to grade it, but other than that, it's fine. It should be there. Other things that they can do is you can actually email, and that's why I asked for email. This is just an option. Go in here, it says regrade, let's see, share grades. Email address question is email. If it was like a login, it would be their username. You see, we want to share via email. We can share via Google Drive. There's no email. We can share both email and Drive if you want to. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to change one of these email addresses to mine so we can see it. There we go. When we share this, so let's go back to it. Share grades with email. We want to do email and Drive. You can include a list of questions and scores. You can include the answer key if you want to. I wouldn't do that unless everybody's finished, because if not, they're going to be sending that to the person who's absent that day. I'm going to leave, well, I'll go ahead and put the answer key on there. I'm going to click continue. It's thinking about it slowly. It's that awkward silence. It's when you tell a joke. I've never seen it take this long. So it's already sent it. Nope, I'm waiting on it to send the email. Wow, that's slow. Can everyone see the scores? No, they cannot see each other. When it emails the score out, it will email that score just that student's. And you don't even have to share it that way if you don't want to. I'm going to show you real quick when I finish, when it actually finishes, other ways that you could probably make a copy for each student so they could see their responses. And that way when a parent, or you can print off, because when that parent comes in and says, I want to look at their grade and what did they miss on their test, that's where it kind of gets fuzzy. And you kind of wonder, here we go. Oh, it's telling me those are, oh yeah, because I do have his email turned off. All right, so here's the one. That's mine. the summary, and here's the one for the kid. So the kid got this email. Remember, this is the one that I went and changed. So the student got the email, and there is, then they can see what they got correct, what they got incorrect. I also shared it via Google Drive, and I don't think I changed it on the right end for that. I bet I didn't. Oh, here we go. Shared grade, Flubaroo quiz. Here's that grade. And so that student can see this is what your answer was, this is your correct answer, and this is how many points. So that's what the student would get if you just shared it through. Angela Chase can't see anybody else's grade but her own. And she saw how many points she got. Here's her final grade. Here's the time her grade was submitted. Here is her information. And it puts it straight into there. So now they have this. You have it too, as well. So there was one of them. I don't know why I only have one. But you can also have those as well. That way, when the parent comes and says, hey, what did the kid make? Why did they miss this on the test? And you don't have a test to show them because it was digital. This you can actually print out and bring it to them. You could go in and just put in your email address for all of it and send it to yourself, and then that way you have that. And like I said, you don't have to send it to your email. You can just go to, I want to go quicker than it has been. All right, and you can do it to just your drive, and that way you get that, just that document as well. Any questions on that end? Are we good? Makes sense. I know it was like I felt fast or something. I did want to show, not that. One more thing that you could do. I thought I had a copy of this. Make a copy. So if I open this up, and we're going to, if I had another way I could do it is I could add an add-on called Form Publisher. And what I can do with the Form Publisher is, it says, do you want to, I don't have one already made, I want to create one. And what it will do is it will make a Google Doc of everybody's, what they turn in. So we will call it, we'll call it this. And we could go in and we could change the name if we needed to. If I want to change the name to Test 2. I can put all of this together. And actually, I probably want to move their last name here. Put it there. Uh-oh. They know that that's their name, so I'm going to take out. And they don't need their email. There's the class. And so now I can go in and we can say, okay, here's that question 1. And here's their answer. And then question 2. Here's their answer. Question 3. This question 4. Question 5. 6. 7. And so I can do that. I'm going to rename it to Test 2. I don't want to do that. My mouse is bouncing. My mouse is bouncing because it's recording. Let's do this. Change the name to Test 2. It's fine. Click Next. I know the one that didn't match is the name one. No, create a folder. We'll keep it the name of the folder. We're going to call it, we're going to change that to the last name. And the other one was first name. I'm going to save the link in the spreadsheet. My email address. And then if I want to share that with the kids, I can say that I can call them viewer and put their email addresses in there. I could say like that. And that way they could get a copy of what their test looked like. It wouldn't have the grade on it then. They would get the grade when I grade it. But then I would have an actual paper that I have of each kid. So I'm going to try it. I'll just call it my own name. Just first period. Just going to choose some. Another one. All right, submit. And so what has happened is that I now have this form publisher outfit folder, and test 2. It has my name. I don't know why it didn't put, because I didn't capitalize last name, but it puts all of my things. And then in the spreadsheet over here where the responses are, I can go and let's say that my mom came up there, she was mad that I made whatever grade, and she wants to see that test or she wants a copy of it. I can go and find it, and there is the doc. There's the link to that doc. So now I have a document that has, this is what I answered for all of that. And you can pretty that up a little bit more. I was just trying to do it quickly, so I don't waste your time. So, any questions? Brandy's typing, I'm not just sitting here. Is there a way to make a grade show? Not on this document. It will show on that document that I had, that grade, this one, but not on those. But you can't on those just because that's making it from before I grade it. So that wouldn't, but that way I just at least have that sheet of paper, and it was really quick to go do that. So now I have a folder online, a document folder online that says this is what those kids answered, because it used to be really hard for me when I would have kids answer questions like this, and they like it was an IEP meeting, and I had to bring a document of all their tests. So once I figured out how to do things like this, I could print them off and then come in and just write the grade on the top and circle the ones they missed, and what they did, what they did wrong, those kind of things. But before that, I didn't have anything. I'd have to come with that spreadsheet and mark off all the other kids, or copy and paste into something. So before that, this is at least gives me documentation of what every single kid did, and it's in a folder in my Google Drive, which is unlimited, and I don't have to worry about going and finding it elsewhere. Any other questions? I guess I could take you off mute if you want me to, or you can type in the chat. So we're good? All right. Oh wait. All right, so these are out there. If y'all have any questions, y'all can email me anytime. Thank you, guys.